Basketball yesterday over the weekend. The Pacers are a sneaky good team. I know they're facing a banged-up Bucks team without Dame Lillard, but they win. Nuggets in overtime over the Clippers. The Knicks, I thought they were going to lose to the Pistons, and then there was a 21-0 run, and the Knicks survived Game 1. The Timberwolves over the Lakers. And then yesterday, the Thunder beat the Grizz by 51 points. That's the largest Game 1 victory, margin of victory in NBA history. 51 points, the largest in a playoff game since 2015. And you're watching the game, and I felt bad for Mike Breen. He's the play-by-play voice, and I'm going, Mike, you're going to have to do some fill. You're going to have to tell some stories with Richard Jefferson here and Doris Burke, because this game is going to get out of hand early. The Lakers somehow were surprised at the physicality of the Timberwolves. I never understood that. I don't know if I'd ever admit that, where I go, dang, man, they play physical. Luka played well, but the rest of the team didn't hold up their end of the bargain, and Minnesota came after them and didn't let up and picked up the victory there. But, you can't lose games at home. Can't, not first round. Can't. And you can't be surprised at the physicality of a team there, but they were. But Luka did have a respectable game, but, Minnesota had a balanced attack here. Oklahoma City, they're a cute story. They're no longer a cute story. They're a real story. And I think sometimes we get caught up and you go, oh, that team out there in Oklahoma City, oh, look at them. How many wins do they have? They went 68-14. They dominated. You got some other players on that team. I know they're going to have the MVP in Shea. Jalen Williams is a rising star. Chet Holmgren, maybe a future Defensive Player of the Year winner. They got a really good bench. The Thunder, no longer a cute story. They're a problem. They are. They're a real problem. And sometimes you'll see teams, I mentioned this with Houston. Houston lost to Golden State. There are certain teams that go into the playoffs, and it's almost like it's a fact-finding mission. It's like a school trip. You're like, let's go see what that's like. Hey, let's go into the playoffs and see what that's like. And then we can kind of collect our thoughts and then get ready to go into next season. Now, I'm not going to say that they're not going to beat Golden State. I will be surprised if they beat Golden State, only because of Golden State has been there. I mean, if you look at just Steph Curry, Steph has more playoff games than the entire roster. Then you throw in Draymond Green. Then you throw in Jimmy Butler. Then you throw in some of these bench guys. Then you throw in Steve Kerr. It's an incredible advantage for them. And you saw with Steph and playoff Jimmy, they're probably the best tandem in the NBA. And I thought, Luka and LeBron, the way they were playing at the end of the regular season, and I would probably still side with them, but probably the general consensus is Steph and playoff Jimmy, the best tandem. But the Cavs rolled. They beat the Heat, but the Warriors beating the Rockets. I'm not surprised at that at all. It's just different basketball. And there's certain teams, Oklahoma City, they were on a fact-finding mission last year. Then all of a sudden you go, okay, what did we learn? Go down through history. A lot of times you have to lose to learn how to win. What does it take? What do we do? What didn't we do? What do they do better than us? And I think that's what you're seeing with OKC. Cleveland, big question mark there. They were great, best team in the East during the regular season. The general consensus is what? The Boston Celtics, and rightfully so. That team is so deep. It feels like everybody can shoot a three. You could probably get the trainer out there, and he might be able to be respectable from three-point range. Everybody. And then, by the way, Derek White, Olympian. See, that's the dangerous part of this. When Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum aren't great, but they're great, that's when you win championships. Yes, Marvin?
Have we ever disrespected a team like the Boston Celtics? And I don't mean that purposefully, but we didn't talk about them at all season long, and they were the defending champs with the best starting five in the NBA.
But it might be a compliment that we've just taken them for granted, that there's certain players and certain teams that they get elevated, and then we go, okay, we've told that story now, let's move on. Because that's really, we're in the storytelling business. What's the story you're telling about the Celtics this year? Man can, if the good rod, deep rod, how about Peyton Pritchard? We run out of ways to describe somebody. And a lot of these teams, you don't look at where they are in the playoff seedings. The same thing with San Antonio. People would get caught up in, oh, man, are you going to be the number one seed and have home court advantage? Spurs didn't care. They were like, we use the regular season to get ready for the postseason. Certain teams are like, we use the regular season to make the postseason. Boston uses the regular season, just like the Patriots. Like they use the first 3 or 4 games of the regular season for their training camp. Like, this is our preseason. And then they use the regular season to get ready for the postseason. And that's, a compliment to them. All righty. Seaton's not here today, so I'm guessing, Todd, are you doing the poll question? I do have the odds to win the NBA championship. OKC is your favorite, then it's the Celtics, and then a distant third, the Cavs. A really distant fourth is the Warriors, and then even further down the list is the Lakers. It does feel like it's a two-team race, but the Cavaliers are a lot of fun. And I was watching last night. You might go, who's this guy who's lighting up the Miami Heat? Ty Jerome. Well, Ty Jerome played for Virginia.
Excuse me.
And I remember when he was playing, and McLovin and I went back and forth because he goes, this Virginia team isn't good. I said, man, they can shoot. They can shoot. And he goes, Ty Jerome, who's that? I said, I don't know who he is, but I know he can shoot. All of a sudden, Ty Jerome pops up, and you go, I'll be damned. Took a while, but he had a couple of games this year that got on the radar, and I went, that dude. And they went at Tyler Hero last night. It was not nice. It was not nice. That's where you needed parental guidance, because I'm going, damn. Everybody wanted Tyler Hero guarding him last night. But Ty Jerome went at him, and, they did a great job. Great job. Yes, Paulie.
I had to look up Ty Jerome. I couldn't lie to you. He's been on 4 teams in 6 years. He's played 6 seasons and only started 10 games.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he can shoot. He can. He got some buckets. He had 28 points and the win. That's the most by any Cavalier in their first NBA playoff game since Kyrie had 30 against the Celtics back in 2015.
Stat of the day, stat of the day, stat of the day, stat of the day. Here comes that what? Stat of the day.
Thank you, Will Ferrell. Stat of the day brought to you by Panini America. And try not to get caught up in one loss. I like that John Morant says, we won't play this way next time around against OKC. Wow. Stop the presses. You won't play that badly? You're going to play a little better? It's almost one of those where he could say if they lose by 15, see, I told you we weren't going to play that bad. We're improving here. But there was no pulse. The body, there was no pulse there. It was a corpse. And but sometimes you'll have these big blowouts, and then, these teams flip the switch on you. And maybe you have that with Memphis. I don't see it just because I think OKC knows, let's be great. We were great. Continue to be great. Don't take anybody for granted. And don't be surprised. The Lakers were surprised. That's what surprises me. Wait a minute. Guys, come on. And it's not like Minnesota is Memphis. Minnesota, they can play for a title. And that's where you can't be goofing around here. Take something for granted. Yes, Marv.
Lakers, hey, this is the team that beat the Denver Nuggets last year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They took Jokic out. So why are we surprised that Naz Reid and Julius Randle are being physical with them? Did they not see the scouting report?
But then J.J. Redick says, hey, and LeBron said that, hey, we were kind of surprised at their physicality. There should be no surprises right now. You've played together long enough. You got, Luka playing well. And I really think that they have a chance to play, in the Western Conference Finals. I mean, I really do. But it comes down to defense. But I didn't think physicality was going to be the difference, but it was. All right. Poll questions, Todd?
We're going to roll with this one from Paulie. I think the Thunder will win the NBA title.
Sure, too early.
Okay.
The old sure or too early, Paul.
Okay. I don't think they're better than the Celtics. I think they're a great team. This is one of those where they don't get a lot of publicity, just like the Cavs didn't get a lot. The media steers you where they want to steer you. They guide you. So when you turn on ESPN or Fox, they're going to guide you to where? The Lakers. Are they going to guide you anyplace else? Maybe the Knicks? Maybe. Are they going to guide you to, well, Memphis because Ja's in trouble? Where else are they guiding you? Therefore, you really don't have unless you watch these games, you don't have a good opinion, a strong opinion on a team. Because you're like, oh, okay, I see the highlights. Yeah, all right, SGA, man, he's really good. But that's all you know. And then you'll see some of these other teams and you'll go, oh, wow, I was watching the Pistons. Man, they're pretty good. It's because the media will hold your hand and take you where they want to, because that's where the stories are. And we do a disservice to some of these other teams that play really well. And that's why I'm glad SGA is getting recognized, because he has been great. And players will say this, and they've said this. Joker's the best player in the game, but they're happy that SGA is going to be the MVP. Like he deserves to win the MVP because of what the team did during the regular season. So that'll give you a sense of the players know, but is anybody talking about the Indiana Pacers? The WNBA team in Indiana gets more headlines, credit, attention than the Pacers do. The Pacers are a really good team. But once again, the media does not guide you there. The only member of the media who does is Pat McAfee, because he's in Indianapolis. But there will be some interesting stories that come out. And if you haven't watched Detroit, yes, they did blow the lead. The Knicks, 21-0 run. But Cade Cunningham is real. He is a real star.